taking really tough decisions, getting stuck with decision making when you have 3 or 4 choices in front of you, or how do you even take a decision? If these are confusions you have on a day-to-day basis, today's video is going to be super useful for you. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you are here for the first time, I'm Praveen Ramesh, and on this channel we speak about non-fiction books, and I also speak about lessons that I'm personally learning by reading these books. I find it immensely useful. I hope you do too. So decision making as a concept or as a phenomenon is very interesting, and when it happens to you personally, it's kind of overwhelming. You remember how you are like the best decision maker when you have to take decisions or give advice to others, when it comes to our own life where we have to take decisions, where we have to make a choice, we always kind of fumble, we always struggle, we always get overwhelmed. And if you're on this boat, you're not alone. I am someone who is very indecisive, or I get kind of slightly anxious when I have 3 or 4 choices in front of me, because I always have this regret about, oh my god, am I missing out on a better option by taking this decision, or should that decision be a better one as compared to this, and all those things. And if you're someone in this boat, today's video is going to be super useful. And how am I going to structure this video is by taking a small life story that happened to me when I was in school and college and tie it to all the theories that I have read in all the decision making books that I've kind of studied till now. So I'm going to extract those concepts and apply to what happened to me back in the time. Again, this is a very retrospective reflection, and some of the observations or decisions I have made, I'm fully aware that I've taken it from a point of privilege. So I'm sorry if it's going to kind of make you feel bad. I completely empathize that you might be taking completely different kind of decisions, but my goal is to give you a very broad framework about how you could be thinking about decisions, and these are purely based on my anecdotal experiences and learnings that I've drawn from a lot of decision making books, right? So now to the story time. So here's what happened when I was probably in my 10th or 11th grade. Back from where I come, during your 10th or 11th grade or your senior school is where you kind of choose what kind of stream you want to be in. Either you go to a science stream or a commerce stream or a business related stream, and then post which you get into a college, and I did my engineering there, so I took the science group. I went to engineering, and then I went to do my masters in marketing. Again, I was super confused all this while, and I took up whatever was coming my way, right? If someone told me, hey, marketing has a lot of scope, you have a lot more job opportunities there, I would go and study that. If someone told me chemical engineering was the thing that you need to pursue, and you won't believe, until this point in time where I did marketing in UK and I came back, I was supremely confused about what career option do I need to be choosing. Because one side I was very inclined to choosing digital marketing as a career, whereas I was very excited by the prospect of working for a FMCG brand, fast moving consumer goods, something like a Unilever, a P&G, where I wanted to launch big brands in international markets. A side of me was always very interested in current affairs. I wanted to be a journalist, and at some point in time I was also dabbling the idea of being in business development, being in a sales role, or being in a customer facing role. And for a very brief while, I was also interested in organic chemistry, so I wanted to be in chemical engineering field, right? So you know where this is going. I had like so many options once I finished my masters that I didn't know what I had to be doing. And guess what I did? I did a lot of research. In fact, I went on to research about, hey, what is the salary like in each of these fields? What is it that the job opportunities 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line? And I also spoke to a lot of career counselors. I spoke to a lot of experts in these fields. I spoke to a lot of people who are doing things in this field, all when I was 22, 23. And guess what happened? I was more confused than where I started. I was supremely overwhelmed with all the options in front of me, and I didn't know how I was going to be taking a decision, which is when I was having a casual conversation with my family where my mom pointed out, hey, why don't you pick something and get started? And that kind of blew a light bulb in my head, right? So I picked up digital marketing, I picked up a campaign management role far away from my home. And since then, I have dabbled multiple roles across marketing. I've been in business development, and I've been in various customer facing roles, right? That's where my first lesson in decision making came in retrospect again, which is the first decision you take it's not necessary that you have to stick to it for your lifetime, right? I started as a campaign management executive and now I'm a full-blown digital marketer, right? So I've come a long way from there. So the first choice you make, your first job, your first manager, or the first stream you choose, your first college degree, your first, whatever it is, the first decision is not going to define your entire life, right? Because why I say this is, back then I was putting a lot of pressure on me to take the right decision in terms of career growth, right decision in terms of salary. But I just want to reassure you that be it career, be it any personal decision that you have in life, you're not always, you need not stick to the first decision that you always take. Life gives you enough chances. And I would stay wary of any person who says, hey, this is the right decision, right? Because far too often we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to take the right decision, and which should never be the case. The reason I tell you that is because no one can predict what a right decision looks like, right? When someone says, hey, this is the right decision for you, all they are trying to tell you is in their perspective, according to their exposure, this seems like the right decision, or they've seen people who have succeeded by taking these decisions. And just because that decision worked out for someone else, it doesn't mean it will work out for you. So what I would tell you to do is, at best you can take inspiration from others' mistakes, others' success and things like that. But I would also tell you to be slightly wary about completely replicating their success. You can learn from others' mistakes, but it doesn't mean it will necessarily work for you. So what do you do in such situations? I would say, instead of taking the right decision, always first decide and then move on, right? So that's the second decision making lesson that I to date follow whenever I'm stuck with, hey, what decision should I be taking next? So the first decision is to keep in mind that the first decision that you take is not going to define your entire life. The second thing to keep in mind, it's important to take a decision and not always take a right decision. So then you might come back and ask me, hey Praveen, what do I do if I'm kind of overwhelmed with 2, 3 or 4 choices, right? So this is where the lesson that I learned from Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke comes in. Here is what I do. So when I have like 3 or 4 choices in front of me, I just place a bet that will help me have a higher probability of a success, which is what others also do. When someone tells you, hey, take this college, or do this job, or do this, they are just ensuring that they increase your probability of a success, rather than telling you that this is the right decision. So when you have like 3 or 4 choices, the only thing that you need to think is, hey, which of these choices makes me happy and which will give me a higher probability of a success. And happiness and success at that point of time is defined by what your current circumstances are. So let's take a step back and realize, right? For example, let's say you are in a situation where you are in need of a stable income, and you have 3 job offers in front of you. One that provides you a stable income but has an okayish culture. One that has a great culture but pays you slightly below market salary. And the third one that has a very okayish culture but pays you like at least 30-40% above your market salary. If you are in need of stability, let's say you move to a new place, you're like too overwhelmed with a lot of things, you're obviously going to go for the company that gives you a stable income with an okayish culture, right? Or if you're at a place where you think like, okay, I need to work with peers that know me, that respect me, and you need a great culture where you want to thrive, you would go for the second option. So it's as simple as that. So always remember that you need to take a decision, that one that will make you happy and that you need the most at the moment. Because as I said at the start, the first decision you take is not going to define your entire life. It's important to take a decision than take the right decision. And when you're overwhelmed with a lot of choice, ensure that you pick a choice that has the maximum probability of a success. So I hope this framework kind of helped you rethink some of your choices. And if there is some other factor that you think I should be considering or I should be including, I'm happy to make one more video around decision making. Until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.